If you're trying to stay close to Charleston without paying Charleston prices, Goose Creek is probably one of the first places you've come across. But here's the reality. Most people either completely overlook Goose Creek or they don't fully understand what it actually offers. They compare it to Mount Pleasant, they compare it to downtown, and they immediately write it off. But if you look at it the right way, Goose Creek can actually be one of the smartest buys in the entire Charleston area. So in this video, I'm going to break down Goose Creek in detail. We're going to go through real estate numbers, what it actually feels like to live here, how it compares to other parts of Charleston, and most importantly, who this area is perfect for and who should probably not be looking here at all. Because Goose Creek is very practical, but it only works if it fits your lifestyle. Let's start with real estate, because this is where Goose Creek really stands out. Over the last year, roughly 1,000 homes have sold in the Goose Creek area. So this is a solid, steady market, but it's active enough that there's always movement, but not overly competitive to the point where buyers feel rushed into bad decisions. For detached single-family homes, the median sales price is sitting right around $340,000, with the average closer to $354,000. Price per square foot is about $200. That number is what makes Goose Creek so interesting, because when you look at other parts of the Charleston market, especially anything closer to downtown or Mount Pleasant, price per square foot climbs drastically. So what you're getting here is the ability to stay relatively close to Charleston without having to sacrifice as much space or stretch your budget. For attached homes like townhomes and condos, the numbers are even more accessible. The median is around $275,000 with the average right around $271,000, and price per square foot is around $194. So realistically, this is one of the stronger entry points in the Charleston market if you're trying to stay under that $300,000 range. And that's a big deal because a lot of areas around Charleston have already moved well beyond that price point. Now, something important to understand about Goose Creek compared to places like Somerville is that it's much more resale driven. There is new construction, but not dominating the market. You're going to see more established neighborhoods, more consistent pricing, and fewer builder-driven fluctuations. For some buyers, that's actually a huge advantage because the market feels more stable and easier to navigate. Now, let's talk about how fast homes are actually moving. About 60% of homes are going under contract within the first 30 days. So the demand is clearly there, but at the same time, this isn't a hyper-competitive market where everything is gone in a weekend. Buyers still have the ability to compare options, take a step back, and make more calculated decisions. And in many cases, there is still room to negotiate depending on the property. Let's talk about what you can actually get for your money here. For a detached single-family home, you're realistically starting in the low to mid 300s. For attached homes like townhomes, you can still find options in the mid to high 200s. That combination of price and location is what makes Goose Creek unique. Because if you go cheaper, you're usually pushing farther out. And if you go closer to Charleston, your price point jumps significantly. Goose Creek sits right in the middle of that. Now, beyond just purchase price, let's talk about what it actually costs to live here. Goose Creek has a strong mix of HOA and non-HOA communities. A lot of older neighborhoods don't have HOAs at all, which is becoming harder to find in this market. And that's a big advantage for buyers who want fewer restrictions and lower monthly costs. If you do choose an HOA community, most are relatively affordable compared to newer master planned areas. So overall, your monthly expense here tends to stay more manageable. Now let's talk about taxes, because this is one of the most underrated advantages of Goose Creek. Being in Berkeley County, property taxes here are some of the lowest in the entire Charleston area, and even the nation for that matter. If this is your primary residence, your effective tax rate is typically around 0.5%. That's significantly lower than what a lot of people are used to coming from other states, and even compared to other parts of Charleston. What that means in real terms is that you're often saving hundreds or even thousands of dollars per year compared to similar priced homes in higher taxed areas. So when you combine lower purchase prices with lower taxes, your overall cost of living here becomes very attractive. Now let's talk about location, because this is one of the biggest advantages that Goose Creek has. You're much closer to the core job areas around Charleston. You've got quick access to North Charleston, the airport, Boeing, and a lot of major employment hubs in the area. You're also right next to the Naval Weapons Station, which makes this a very popular area for military buyers. And that's a big reason why demand here stays consistent. Compared to Somerville, your drive times are shorter, your access to jobs is better, and your day-to-day convenience is higher. Let's talk about schools, because this is a big factor for a lot of buyers. Goose Creek is a part of Berkeley County School District, which offers a range of options depending on the area. There are solid schools throughout, but one of the biggest standouts is Palmetto Scholars Academy. This is a highly ranked charter school known for strong academics, and it's one of the main reasons some buyers specifically target Goose Creek. On top of that, there are also magnet programs and specialized schools throughout the district, which gives families more flexibility depending on what they're looking for. So while schools can vary depending on the exact neighborhood, there are definitely strong options here if you know where to look. Now let's talk about what Goose Creek actually feels like to live in. This is not a flashy area, and it's not trying to be. Goose Creek is built around practicality and convenience. Everything you need is close by. Grocery stores, restaurants, retail, gyms, schools. It's all within a short drive. You're not dealing with long distances just to handle day-to-day life. At the same time, it doesn't have the same charm or aesthetic appeal as downtown Charleston or some newer master planned communities. But for a lot of buyers, that's not what they're prioritizing. What they want is something that works, something that's easy, something that fits their budget and their routine. And that's exactly what Goose Creek provides. Now, let's talk about who Goose Creek is actually a great fit for. This is one of the best areas for buyers who want to stay close to Charleston without paying a premium to do it. It's a strong option for first-time buyers, a strong option for military buyers, and it's a great fit for people working in North Charleston, Boeing, or anywhere near that general area. It's also a solid option for investors because of the consistent demand tied to location and employment nearby. Now on the flip side, let's talk about who Goose Creek is not a fit for. If you're looking for a luxury feel, this is definitely not your area. If you want walkability, nightlife, or that classic Charleston lifestyle, you're not really going to get that here. And if you're looking for a brand new, high-end master plan community, you're going to find more of that in Summerville. Goose Creek is not trying to compete in those categories. Now, let's talk about growth and long-term outlook. Goose Creek is not growing at the same explosive pace as Summerville, but it is still seeing a steady, consistent growth. And a lot of that is driven by its location. Being close to major employers, the military base, and key parts of Charleston keeps demand very stable. So instead of rapid expansion, you're getting a more established market with consistent performance. And for a lot of buyers and investors, that's actually a better long-term play. At the end of the day, Goose Creek is one of the most practical places to buy in the Charleston area. It gives you affordability, it keeps you close to where you need to be, and it offers a level of convenience that a lot of other areas at this price point just can't match. But it's not for everyone, and the biggest mistake you can make is choosing Goose Creek without understanding what you're trading off. If you're thinking about buying in Goose Creek or anywhere near the Charleston area, avoiding mistakes is only half the battle. You also need access to the right opportunities. There are homes and deals, especially off-market opportunities, that most buyers never even see. If you want access to those, or even just want help figuring out if Goose Creek, or Charleston for that matter, is the right fit for you, reach out to me directly. I see more opportunities before they hit the market than most agents in Charleston, and I'd be happy to help you take advantage of them.